Yo, what is up guys? James Buzzard, and I know I have not seen most of you guys since Vlogmas, which is a decent amount of time now, but I've had a ton of stuff going on with my business, Buzz Labs Creative, that has, kind of distracted me from wanting to create content over here on YouTube. I really knew that I just needed to focus on what I had going on at Buzz Labs and come back to this as soon as I was ready. But now I'm ready. Now things are slowly getting cleared up over at Buzz Labs. We had a ton of things go awesome last year, but we had one major issue working with a producer who ended up not paying us. Now, we waited as patiently as possible, heard all the excuses that we could hear, and we finally had to hire legal representation in order to ask the producer to pay us what we are owed from the services that we provided last year in order for him to be able to produce his event. I'm not gonna get a ton into it today, but that is one major thing that has really been setting me back and putting me in a weird mood this year. And but I finally decided to hire some help. And with that, things are slowly getting cleared up, but we are still dealing with a lot of BS. Other than that though, everything has been going awesome with Buzz Labs. We've been working on a ton of new projects. We got a new website up with a brand new service, and we're hoping that we can kind of develop that into another sister company of Buzz Labs, providing a very specific service for businesses, and that's 360 Virtual Tours by Buzz.com. And but yeah, so far that's kind of been on pause with everything else that we've been having going on between our client projects and this ridiculous situation going on with this producer. Today, guys, I want to take my mind away from everything that's going on at Buzz Labs, and I just want to sit down and organize and go through my actual storage, my storage shelf. Now, my storage shelf is actually has about 25 grand worth of equipment on it. Everything from drones to camera bodies to big old cases from Manfrotto and other companies. There's just tons of gear on the shelf. And I've accumulated almost all of this gear over the past 2 years of starting my production company. So a lot of the money that we make here at the production company, we put right back into the business, whether that's in equipment, software, computer hardware, or marketing, whatever we need to in order to continue growing. And even in 2020, we were still doing the exact same thing. So we lost a ton of business last year with the pandemic, which was extremely expected. However, we did come out with new services last year that allowed us to stay afloat and end up having an overall relatively good year last year. However, with that being said, at the beginning of this year, this office was looking an absolute mess. We just got done doing a ton of different projects at the end of 2020, working with some new companies, and we even got to work with a really, really cool magazine brand, magazine company here in Chicago, which was a really awesome opportunity. I never really worked with a product like that, a magazine. So that was super interesting in order to create commercial content for a magazine. Anyways, guys, the office was completely turned upside down. And with that, we kind of just shoved everything back up and back into the shelf, the storage shelf. And really, it's been looking like a disaster ever since. So last night, I took a ton of time in order to get the storage shelf completely cleared off, and I took almost everything off of the storage shelf, minus my big production case and a couple of the big lights and stuff like that. So today I want to actually pick up where I left off last night, and I want to show you guys where we're currently at. So last night, I went through all of these storage containers. We actually have 4 bigger, I think they're 25 25 gallon Husky storage containers. And along with that, I think I got 16 quart containers, and I forget what the smaller size is, but we also got, I'll just say it's probably around 10 quart container. But we got 4 of the 16s and 4 of the 10s, and a few of these super little square. And then we also got a few of these super little square containers. And I got all of these just from my local Home Depot or my local hardware store. You guys really don't need to spend a ton of money on the way that you guys store your gear. The biggest thing is that it's semi-watertight. It doesn't need to be waterproof, but if you guys are in a basement or anything like that, if you guys have a pipe leaking overhead, or you guys have something leaking on the floor, you do want to have all your equipment on a shelf so that it's lifted up off the floor, as well as having it in some kind of container so that water would drip over it instead of dripping into the container. Obviously, this won't protect you in case of a full out flood, but this will do a lot as far as keeping dust, and you open up a pop and it goes all over the place. You know, you're not gonna have to worry about your stuff really getting messed up. It's gonna do a good job of shelf storage, you know. Anyways, these are the little ones that I got. This is the what we'll call medium-sized storage containers that I got. And they all come with lids as well, just simple gray lids. And this is the bigger sized storage container that I got. This one holding all the little office equipment, such as permanent markers, expo markers, all the little stuff that we'll need for cable management under the desk, as well as just a bunch of little command strip type things, Velcro, all that kind of stuff goes in this container. Anyways, let's show you guys what's in the rest of the containers. That way you guys can kind of see how I'm organizing all of my gear and how I'm putting it on the shelf. And we'll see if all these containers actually fit on the shelf when we're done, which is gonna be a big key. So let's go ahead and take the camera off the tripod. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what we have in these 16 containers as of now. This is actually my entire office right here. As you can see, that's where I was just sitting doing the little talking head part. Over here, I have these 25 gallon Husky containers, and all of these Husky containers are extremely cheap. I want to say they're somewhere around 10 to 15 bucks for, you know, the container with the lid. So yeah, I think that's really reasonable, and compared to what other prices you guys could be paying, like for something like this SKB case that you would typically more used to take with you, not only just for storage here in the studio, but this is also a great case for travel. Something also like that Manfrotto Tough H55. This is Manfrotto's hard case. That is such an underrated case. I love it compared to the Pelican cases and a lot of other brand cases. I just love Manfrotto products in general. They're extremely high quality, and yeah, they're really good products, and yeah, they work great. But yeah, that's my other case right here, is the SKB. I forget what the model number is of it. It's like a 4312, something like that. But this is their biggest production case. This holds so much gear. It is ridiculous. I have 2 camera bodies in here right now. I have the Insta360 1R. We have 6 lenses in here. We have our main microphone. We have all of our cleaning gear. We have a gimbal. We have The MPF batteries literally busting out the seams. We have a ton of MPF batteries in here. Most of them are all the 900 size, 970s I think they are. Down here we have a Fresnel light. Back in the way back, we actually have all of our light stands. So we have backlight stands as well as the Manfrotto 1005 light stands, which are hands down the best light stands that you guys could get. So here is the shelf all cleared off after we, got everything cleared off. The only thing on the shelf right now is some of our Came TV lighting, the Manfrotto Tough H55, the SKB hard case, a few old lenses that we don't really use anymore. I just haven't really wanted to part ways with them. The Helios 44, that is an amazing lens, and I probably will never get rid of it just because that was my first vintage lens. Back here, we just have some cleaning supplies, including some 99% alcohol or 91% alcohol. Right here, we just have a zoom. I haven't quite figured out where I want to store that yet. That's something I use often. But yeah, moving over to the cases themselves. In this first case, we just have a simple slider as well as our smaller tripods. Moving on to this next case, we have all of our audio gear, which is includes 2 pod mics. I haven't even opened those yet. Over here, we have 4 Audio-Technica headphones. All of these headphones are what I use typically for my client work when we're filming podcasts for clients. The clients love these headphones. They're super, super comfortable, really simple, easy to use, and yeah, they sound great. And they're cheap. They're only like 50 or 60 bucks a piece. Also in here, we have all of our cables for power cables. So we have our splitters as well as all of our heavy duty power cables and our water and weather resistant power cables. So the blue power cables down here are actually some kind of super fancy cables that are good for extremely high temperature situations as well as really low temperature situations, and they stay flexible, which is really, really nice when you're working somewhere in a colder environment. Over here, guys, this is where I'm going to be putting all of our drone stuff. So right now I just have the old Mavic Air V1 in here, which is still a phenomenal drone. Another thing that we have in here is just the simple pop-up, just a simple pop-up landing pad, and then we have the V1 DJI controller. Which is a V1 DJI controller. That's for your FPV drones and stuff like that. Over here, this is actually all of the rigging equipment. So right here, again, I got this. I haven't even opened it yet. Sorry, bro. But I got this from the Everything Man. This is one of the larger size clear containers I got from Home Depot. This one holds all of my small rig stuff. So yeah, all the small rig, little tools. I got like a Peak Designs little camera clip thing over here. We got, all the stuff that we would use for rigging. We got a bunch of little ball heads. I'm trying to find something. We got stuff for like our small rig, or stuff for our monitors. So yeah, just all of our rigging stuff for our cameras goes in here, as well as stuff like ball heads and all of those small types of parts. Moving on, right here, this is where I have all of our audio cables. So I have a plethora of audio cables in different lengths, different styles. For instance, this one is 1/4 inch to XLR, and then we even have a little adapter on there from our last gig. So yeah, so I just have a ton of different cables. This is one of the things that we are going to be taking a little bit more time on and making sure that we label each and every one of the cables. I want the footage on the cable. I want the type of cable. And if it came with something specifically, I want to put what that cable came from. So if it came from a specific microphone kit, I want to make sure that I put this one came with this microphone kit, just so I'm aware what cables came with what. Over here, guys, I have my, these are my sandbags or my weights that I use for my actual light stands and for my monopods. So this one right here, this is just a super cheap, I think I got them for like $15 or $20, but they're just ankle weights. And the ankle weights actually work amazingly well for light stands, monopods, anything that you need that extra weight at the base for. They weigh about 3 pounds, I want to say. And, but yeah, it's just enough weight to really do what you want it to do, which is just counterbalance the top heaviness of your tripod or your light stand or whatever else you're using. Moving on, these are about 15 pounds each, and these are just bigger sandbags that I use for my big light stands when I got my big lights on there. Over here, this is all that office equipment stuff I was telling you about, cable management. We also got command strips. We got Velcro in here. We also have zip ties. So all of that type of stuff goes in here. We also have, you know, permanent markers, expo markers for our whiteboards. And then coming over here, this is actually all of our live streaming equipment. So in here, we have 2 different cam links. We have the HD60S Plus down in here. So this is actually my original capture card that I used for live streaming. And the only reason I got this one first was because this one was completely sold out every place you wanted to buy it at the beginning of 2020. And, yeah, the only place that you could get it was Amazon, and people were charging upwards of $300 for this thing at the time. So as soon as I found it available from Best Buy, I went ahead and purchased it at the regular MSRP price. So definitely keep your guys' eye out for a good and reliable capture card for your guys' online Zoom meetings, everything that you guys need a capture card. Just have one good one. That's what I did. In here, I really don't use a ton of flash photography, but when I do, for like when I'm doing a second shooter at weddings or anything like that, I usually am using the TT350S, and I also use that in combination with the Godox X1 trigger. So yeah, that's just my super little flash kit that I use when I do need flash. In here, these are all my different filters. So we got just all of our extra filters and a couple things for our ZV-1, such as the wide angle adapter. And I think the only other one I gotta show you guys, this one I just have a couple random stuff. This is my, my Midwest junk drawer. So we got some AAA batteries in here. We got some other batteries in here. Every junk drawer has batteries in it, We also have some mounting putty. Now, if you guys want to get that super, super good product B-roll and without your products rolling around on the table and all that kind of stuff, get your guys some mounting putty. This stuff, you just take off a tiny little bit of it. Say you're shooting a wedding or something like that. You just put a tiny little tack. This is actually left over from the last time I used it, that little amount right there. But you just break off a tiny little piece, use it to hold down the product on your surface, such as a wedding ring. You could literally have a wedding ring pointing straight up on a surface, and you can literally just hide the mounting putty just behind the band. People will never notice the mounting putty in the shot, and you can get the ring in positions that you never would normally be able to just set a ring down in. So yeah, that works phenomenal for products. Any kind of product that might be rolling across a table, super tiny objects like wedding rings and stuff like that, you can use it. So yeah, mounting putty works phenomenally well. That's, I guess, my pro tip for today is get yourself some mounting putty and use it to your full advantage when doing stuff like product shoots and stuff like that. Because yeah, mounting putty is worth its weight in gold when it comes to photo shoots and product shoots. Anyways, guys, that is all of the bins that I currently have organized. So, you know, we got our four husky bins that we went through, and then we have these 8 bins right here. I have one that's still empty back in that corner. And then right here, we have just those little bins with the capture cards, the flashes, and that type of stuff. And yeah, our goal is to get all of that to fit on this shelf. So I think I'm going to take some time, get all this stuff up on the shelf, and then I'll meet back with you guys, and we'll kind of take a look at it. Oh, snaps. Look at the organization. So the only thing really that I have left to do, we need to use the new little brother printer that we got, and we're gonna make a whole bunch of labels, and we're gonna label each and every one of these plastic containers and say exactly what's in it. So like for this one, for example, would be rigging. So let's go ahead and do that one right now. This portion of it is actually super easy. All we're gonna do is we're gonna power on the unit, and we're gonna go to all caps. Just make sure cap locks is on, and we're gonna type in rigging. And now that we have rigging typed in here, we're literally just gonna hit print. One copy, it's gonna print it, comes right out here out the back. We're gonna hit OK to get it to feed just a little bit more. Now we're just gonna snip it. And now we have a perfect little label that says rigging. So my goal is actually to have labels for all of my equipment. I just wanna have super simple labels. I actually printed a couple of them out already, but I just want to have super simple little labels like this that just say my name, my company name, and maybe a phone number or something like that, so people know where to contact me in case I was to leave like a light stand behind or something like that. So I think that's just going to come in handy. I usually don't forget equipment places, but there has been an occasion or two where I have left stuff like one of my buddy's microphone stands. Sorry, Sam. And, you know, just super small stuff like that. Maybe like a charging cable or something. But, yeah, it's going to be super nice having everything labeled so I know exactly what it goes to as far as like small stuff like cables, all that, yada, yada. Anyways, guys, let's get back to this organization. All right. So now here's how everything's looking as of now. So we have all the bins that are being used are currently gonna get labeled. I still have a couple left to do. I'm gonna have to grab those ones, those 4 in the back, label those. But we got everything labeled. So just for an example, files and office supplies, more office supplies. We got USB power cables. Right below that, that's an empty bin, so it's not labeled yet. We have all our remotes and we have our hard drives. So right down here, we got all our rigging. We got a couple more to get done right back there behind the podcaster, whatever it's called. And then, you know, we got all of our cleaning supplies, gaffer's tape, our extra lenses that we don't typically carry with us. We got an extra little smart plug. I mean, everything in here is super organized now. All of our gear has been organized. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Denzel actually swung by and rented my 20mm for the next 2 days. So that was super sweet. So yeah, we got a couple rentals out today, as well as a light stand. So that'll be super nice. Right down here, we have all of our lighting. So this is our big Came TV light. This is my absolute favorite light right now. Moving on from there, we got our tripods. We got our Manfrotto Chicago backpack. Yes, that is the Chicago backpack. That's my favorite backpack from Manfrotto. Right here, we have all of our drones and FPV gear. Stay tuned on the FPV gear. That is right under there in that box underneath the desk. So yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next couple days, maybe next couple weeks. We'll see when I get to making that video. Right here, this is my absolute favorite travel case. This is the Manfrotto H55. Yeah, this is the most underrated hard case made to date. It is my favorite hard case to date. The only case that I like better is the SKB, and that's only because it holds more stuff. But otherwise, this is my favorite hard case on the market. I love it, even way more than the Pelican cases. I like it a little bit better than the SKB cases of this size. And there's some reasons for that. Maybe we'll get, if you guys want to see a video on that case specifically, I can get into that. Anyways, over here we got all those audio and power cables. This is the box for the Mavic Air 2 that I just got. I opened it and have been using it, but yeah, we just haven't quite got it done. I still need to hang up this whiteboard. That's going to go right next to this one right there, and it's going to kind of hide the line. These are actually just bookcases on the other side of there. So I painted the back of the bookcases white, kind of gave me this faux wall here in the office. And then I put some whiteboards up just to stay organized with projects that we have going on and stuff like that. I just put these whiteboards up. So I really want to start utilizing these here in the office to really just keep myself organized and all of that. Over here, this little corner, there's going to be a nice black bookcase right here. A short little 3-level black bookcase, and that's going to hold all of our power stuff that needs to be powered. So batteries that need to be charged, everything that needs to be charged that has batteries, stuff like that. We're going to make a specific shelf for all of that gear, and it's going to go right where this whiteboard is right now. Over in this corner, we have all of our modifiers. So we got our V-flats, we got our big, foldable modifiers, and we do actually have a table over there as well. Over here, we have a big boom arm along with all of our light stands, a monopod, just all that type of stuff. And then here's the office, the rest of the office, this is the desk. So yeah, really just working on getting everything in here organized. So yeah, so far this is kind of basically what the office is looking like. I am super excited about the shelf right behind me. It got out of control for a little while. So now that it's in this state of organization, it is just gonna be super nice for yeah, everything that we have going on for the rest of the year. Things I hope are going to be getting a lot busier, especially wedding season coming up now. But anyways, we have a ton of gear ready to go for this year. I'm super excited for all of our next productions, and I'm definitely excited to tell you guys a lot more about what I learned last year working on some of the projects that I worked on. So I definitely want to touch a lot more on that. And yeah, either way, thanks for checking out today's quick little mini vlog, just kind of getting everything organized here in the office, venting with you guys here for a quick minute. Yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out today, and I will catch you guys in the next one.